Our top story this week. 18 people were killed after a flight caught fire shortly after it took off from the Kathmandu airport in Nepal. The flight was carrying technical staff of the Saurya Airlines who were on their test flight from the country. Only the pilot survived.
Barely minutes after the 50-seat Bombardier CRJ-200 of domestic carrier Saurya Airlines took off from the Tribhuvan International Airport, tragedy struck. On its way to the resort town of Pokhara, the plane suddenly flipped rightwards and crashed into the eastern section of the airport. Nepal's aviation authority says 18 Nepalese, including one child, and a Yemeni national were on the plane. The lone survivor, the pilot of the plane, sustained injuries to his eyes and forehead, but he is said to be out of danger. An eyewitness in a nearby shop described the crash as resembling a truck overturning.
We ran after we saw the crash. The plane then hit the ground and caught fire. We were about to run to the site, but then there was an explosion, so we ran away again.
Images shared by Nepal's military showed the plane's fuselage split apart and charred. Though the airport authorities have not been able to confirm the cause of the disaster, an initial assessment said the plane had flown in the wrong direction.
WION has spoken to many officials and many engineers, and they definitely have highlighted that some of the rules have been overlooked by the Civil Aviation Authority. First being of allowing any passengers on the test flight, and in this flight we have seen 2 passengers, including a 4-year-old kid, who unfortunately have lost their lives.
Tribhuvan International Airport, the main airport in Nepal for international and domestic flights, was closed after the crash, but was reopened within hours. Considered a challenging airport for pilots, it is located inside a valley surrounded by mountains on most sides. Bigger planes are required to come through an opening on a mountain to land here. But the issue is not limited to the airport alone. For years, Nepal has been criticized for its abysmal air safety record. The mountainous country has a history of air crashes, as many airlines fly to small airports in remote hills and near peaks, often shrouded in clouds and cut off from roads. Last year in January, Nepal witnessed its worst air crash in 30 years. 71 people were killed in January when a passenger plane went down near the tourist city of Pokhara. More than 360 people have been killed in 19 air crashes since 2000. While Nepal's aviation industry has boomed in recent years, the country has a very poor air safety record. Nepal also has some of the world's remotest and trickiest runways, flanked by snow-capped peaks, with difficult approaches and capricious weather. Nepal's aviation sector has been plagued by poor safety thanks to insufficient training and maintenance. The situation became so grave that in 2013, the European Union decided to ban all Nepali carriers from its airspace due to safety concerns. The question is, who is to blame? The government of Nepal has a track record of failing to act despite the innumerable air tragedies that continue to haunt the country. Over the years, successive investigations into air crashes have revealed that the crew did not follow protocol. There was insufficient flight training by airline managements and inadequate oversight by Nepal's Civil Aviation Authority. Planes in Nepal have often been tagged as flying coffins. Yet, the government chooses to look the other way. Until the next tragedy strikes and a fresh blame game begins.